On May 12 this year, President Museveni will be sworn in again to lead Uganda for a seventh term following his declaration as winner of the 2026 presidential election by the Electoral Commission. However, with only a few days left to the swearing-in ceremony, members of the opposition are still contesting the election results. While some chose not to challenge the outcome in court, Robert Kasibante, who had initially planned to file a petition, withdrew his case, saying the costs involved were too high. Now, some of the candidates who participated in the election but lost are demanding that the Electoral Commission fully releases all the results that were used to declare the winner of the January 15, 2026 presidential election.
I really feel sorry for Uganda, on behalf of Ugandans, that it's unfortunate that after 5 months now, since Ugandans went to the polls, the Electoral Commission has not taken on its legal obligation and constitutional demand to avail Ugandans who stood in rains and sunshine to elect for their next president and legislators at parliamentary level. It is quite absurd, because it's like they are taking Ugandans for granted.
They argue that the delay by the Electoral Commission to publish detailed results from all polling stations has raised serious questions about the transparency and fairness of the Electoral Commission.
It is obvious, we all knew that this would happen, because of course Byabakama and General Museveni, they know that they didn't win the elections. The reason as to why I had taken them to court, it was because of malpractice and some other issues which involved in the elections.
Look, the legal requirement is when an election is concluded, transparency is paramount. So the organizer of the election, the Electoral Commission, has got to come clean to provide details of what it is that you declared.
Former presidential candidate Frank Bulira is calling on the leader of opposition in parliament to boycott participation in the formation of the next government if the Electoral Commission does not clearly explain how it arrived at the final results. Meanwhile, NRM spokesperson Emmanuel Dombo, speaking by phone, says the ruling party has no issue with the Electoral Commission. He adds that results collected by their party agents from across the country already indicated victory for President Museveni, which aligns with what the Commission announced.
For us in the National Resistance Movement, we took it as our responsibility to ensure that we look for the vote, we guard it well, but we also retrieve all the declaration forms per polling station for all our candidates at presidential, parliamentary, and local government levels.
Opposition members have also expressed concern that if elections in Uganda are not handled in a transparent and credible manner, citizens may eventually lose interest in voting. Legal expert Mulindwa says it is the responsibility of the Electoral Commission to carry out its duties in line with the law in order to ensure transparency.
So the Electoral Commission, by law, within 48 hours is supposed to declare, and the other process they're supposed to do is gazette the results. Now we have moved, we are now in the information age and the age of IT and the age of now we're software. So the Electoral Commission really has a website. But when you check their website, the results have not been put on the website.
When contacted by phone, the Electoral Commission spokesperson Julius Mechunguzi maintained that all processes in the election, from preparation to declaration of results, were conducted in accordance with the law.
Organizing the just concluded general election, the Electoral Commission conducted the presidential, parliamentary, and local government elections in accordance with the relevant electoral laws, the Presidential Elections Act, the Parliamentary Elections Act, the Local Government Act, and the Constitution and the Electoral Commissions Act.
Lydia Feli Akulu, NTV Tonight.